the facial part, not so, but very near, and in attention, when the dog is in attention, the form, the upper form of the ear, give the contribute with the skull to a form slight angulated. Okay? Other things. See this part? This form is an U. See my finger, U. But the other side, U. This form. This is the typical form by the Lagotto. No V, like Vincent van Gogh. Not V. But U, like Utrecht. Other thing important, the nose schwung must be big. Big in the form, square in the lateral sides, and naturally by this color, you see is a dark brown. About the color, the pigmentation, we have today no big problems like one time. One time we had a lot, most of you are not born, especially these ladies in this. They looked me and they said, color. Yes, the color is very important. But one time, if you see the color of this breed 30 years ago, my goodness, black, gray, black and white, not many, but a lot. But after years of similar with similar, remember you what I say, disappeared. The black disappeared because the black was a recessive gene that came from the no breeds connections or others breeds connection. For example, the setter Black-Belton give the black, and it is, we see 30 years ago, 25 years ago, that some dogs with black pigmentation and tendency to be black in the coat, they was rectangular, no square like majority of Lagotto, and also the coat was not so curly coated like, for example, by this dog, by most of dogs today. So it was a relation between the color and the morphology. When in the standard my father write no black and white, no gray, was not because my father or we are against the black or against the black and white. If the dog are in morphology good, why not black, why not black and white? And why? The reason was because the color was connected to a bad morphology. This is about the fundament of color. I know that there are some questions about the color. I will explain, but after. We go a bit, another bit about the standard. The bite. Your question. You know that This dog has the connection between the overlips and the underlips with U. Why? Why is a U? Because the mandible is huge. And if you see the dog, you can see that the dog, the Lagotto, has the tendency to position the teeth in a line, not like a Saint Bernard, not like a boxer, not like a Molossian, but have a tendency to have more straight-on line, turned around the line, like for example, by all shepherds, by hounds, and other breeds. For this reason, the connection here is an U. For this reason, we have to accept a bite with naturally scissors, because this scissors bite is a correct bite, but also a bite like this we can accept. And this is your question. If I see a typical dog with a reverse bite, I accept the dog. If the dog is an excellent, the dog must become excellent. This is not prognatism. Prognatism is a thing, disposition of the teeth is another thing. You can have over mandible and under mandible of the same longness, but if the teeth are prominent in front, you see the teeth and appear like a slight prognatism. But this is not a prognatism. It's only the disposition of the teeth. Teeth must be vertical, but many dogs have the tendency to position the teeth not vertical, but a slight in front, and form an angle that is about 30 degrees. But the longness of the mandible is the same longness of the upper mandible. So it's not prognative. Many all-round judge, they confuse this with a prognative. No, it's a fault. Naturally, most of converging breeds, like Saint Bernard, like Boxer, like Bordeaux Dog, like Boxer, they have the tendency to have a prognative, to have a bite that have the longness of the mandible a bit more long than the upper. This is a prognative, but this is a typical bite of converging molosser. Not all, but many. For example, the Old English Mastiff have a scissors bite, because it's parallel, it's not converging, it's a parallel in the upper axis of the skull and of the mother. The Neapolitan Mastiff, the same, is parallel and have tendency to have scissors bite or normal bite. But Boxer, all prognative. All is necessary if you want a Boxer. German Shepherds can be prognative. Have you never seen German Shepherd with prognative? No. Have you never seen hound with prognative? No. Always scissors bite. Most of breeds have scissors bite. Probably 60, 70%. The Lagotto, no. Because the Lagotto with this type of skull, with this type of form and place in the eyes, have the tendency to be not prognatic, but with reverse. And so, for this reason, the reverse pipe is by this breed correct. And if I tell, you must be sure. I said before that FCI have the tendency, you know that I am very involved in FCI, but what I say by FCI is the same that I say to you tonight. The tendency of FCI is to reduce the scientific level of all standard. The level of the standard today is about child school, 3rd, 4th class.